In this video, we are looking at the motivational theory of David McClelland. So he's a US psychologist at Harvard, and those of you who have taken marketing research, you have looked at the thematic apperception test, and he is responsible for the thematic apperception test that we use. Now, what we get from McClelland is that regardless of gender, culture, or age, people are motivated by three factors. So we all have these three factors, but that individuals have a dominant motivational factor. So let's take a look at these. So this is what is called the acquired needs theory from 1961. And those three motivational factors are the need for achievement, the need for power, and the need for affiliation. So let's start with achievement. The need for achievement. So we like to reach our goals, and we like to check things off of our to-do list. Okay, we may be people who prefer to work alone. Why? Because we just want to get things done. And we don't like it when people waste our time or things take too much time, so we can't get those items checked off the to-do list or accomplished. So we have a strong need to set and accomplish challenging goals. Perhaps you are one who has a need for affiliation. So you want to belong to a group, you want to be liked, you want to be loved. You favor collaboration, you don't like competition. The need for achievement person likes competition. The need for affiliation person likes to be part of a team. The need for affiliation doesn't like to upset people, so they're not into high risk or uncertainty. They just want to belong. Then we have the need for power. The person who is in need of power wants to control and influence others. They like to win arguments. They also like to be in competitions, just like those who have a need for achievement, but they're in terms of they want the status, the recognition to be better than others. So according to McClelland, everyone has a need for achievement, a need for power, and a need for affiliation. But you're going to have different levels of these, and you're going to have one that is more dominant. And so McClelland then looked at what makes the best management, whether you are an achiever, someone who wants power, or someone who wants to be affiliated with others. And so as we look at affiliation, we look at the idea of inhibition. The idea with inhibition is, are you self-conscious? Are you concerned with how others think about you? Those who have a need for achievement or a need for power tend to have low inhibition. They don't care so much what other people think. They're more likely to act. Those who have a need for affiliation have a high level of inhibition. They are concerned what other people think about them. So what makes a good manager? Well, according to McClelland, what makes a good manager are those who have lower inhibition. So that is, your primary is not need for affiliation. What he says is that managers who really just want to be liked tend to not have clear procedures because they don't want to be the bad guy. And so because of that, they don't want to be the one who says no. They aren't clear in terms of what's expected of people, what people should do, what the rules are. And so it can be unclear in terms of performance expectations. What we see with those who also have a high need for affiliation is that individuals who work for them don't tend to have as much pride in their work or feel personal responsibility. So according to McClelland, if you are a person who has a high need for affiliation, maybe management is not your role. Maybe you are more of a team player and part of teams rather than a single leader. For the others, he has created what is called a personal power manager. A personal power manager is one who is high in terms of that achievement. These individuals tend to be successful in lower levels of management, where you're working directly with the employees and it's really about getting things done. That's a personal power manager. high achievement, again, lower in terms of that affiliation. And then we have what McClelland calls institutional managers. So institutional managers, he says, is the best type of upper management. These are people who like power. So when you think of CEOs, presidents of organizations, the people you think of, right, we tend to think of people and they tend to be quite unique characters. Why? Because they tend to be power hungry. We think of Elon Musk, we think of Jeff Bezos, we think of leaders of these big tech companies, and they tend to be ones who like to be in control, who like to make the decisions. They have low inhibition. They don't care what other people think. And they tend to have lower in terms of that affiliation overall. So not so cared about what people think and not so cared in terms of whether they are loved. It's about the power. The benefit to the organization of having that institutional manager, having that person who has more need for power at the top, is that it can create clear direction for the organization. There is clarity in terms of what needs to be done. And so we have a person who is very much, we recognize the leader and they're on a mission and we follow them. So what they found in terms of their research, McClelland found in his research, is that organizations that have institutional managers, so more power greater than affiliation, that there does tend to be more of a sense of responsibility among the subordinates, more organizational clarity, and even more team spirit when you have those high power people leading the organization. If you look more at that personal power manager, so someone who is more achievement based, less power hungry, you also see a similar level of team spirit in terms of the subordinates willing to fall in line and work towards the common goal of that person in that position.